scores! Stutzler, one-timer, scores!
Great save made by Gustafsson.
Right here, what an awesome pass through the slot, onto the stick of Batherson.
Tkachuk in tight up and ski, got it, scores! Brady Tkachuk wins it in overtime for Ottawa.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Now, before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at @SensTalk_ and on Instagram at Sens Talk. As well, go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SensTalk. You'll save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek is one of the best, if not the best, third-party ticket sale website in the entire world. So make sure to take advantage of this great deal today by saving $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek.com by using the promo code SensTalk. Now, on Wednesday, Season 2, Episode 1 of Sens Stonks with Noah Luden was released. Make sure to check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. Noah Luden went through the entire Ottawa Senator roster and gave his picks about whether players are trending in the positive or negative direction. Now, yesterday, the Ottawa Senators made a few lineup changes, most notably Brady Tkachuk making his season debut last night against San Jose. He returns after signing that 7-year, $8.2 million deal. He missed a few games. Ottawa got 4 out of 6 points in those 3 games he missed. So we're in a good spot for his return. Now, another season debut was in the goaltending department. Matt Murray makes his season debut starting last night against San Jose. And he looked pretty good. We'll talk about him later. And then Tyler Ennis was pushed to the 4th line, with Parker Kelly being the ultimate scratch from the original lineup. Now let's get into the game recap. So last night, Ottawa took on the San Jose Sharks in a game that Ottawa played pretty well in, to be quite honest with you, but they just cannot bury chances. However, early in the first period of play, they buried their chance that they struck first, thanks to great puck movement along the boards by Artem Zub and Brady Tkachuk as they fed Drake Batherson on a 2-on-1 chance with Josh Norris, I believe. Drake Batherson elected to shoot the puck. Right decision. It beat James Reimer to give the Sanders the 1-0 lead. A few minutes later, the Sharks appeared to tie the game at 1 apiece, but the Sanders challenged this goal for offside, and as you can see on the screen, this one was called back because it was clearly offside. The Sens continued to lead 1-0. We move forward into the second period of play where Shane Pinto gets injured earlier in the first, returns in the second triumphantly after a lot of people did not think he would return. He did return, however, he was slashed on this play. Logan Couture takes advantage of that as the coverage is blown in front of the net as he puts one in past Matt Murray to tie things up at 1 apiece. Now on the power play with 5 left to go in the second period of play, Erik Karlsson is looking for his first point against his former team. He gets it here as he feeds LeBlanc for a one-timer that beats Matt Murray glove hand side to give the Sharks the 2-1 lead. Now in the third period of play, the Ottawa Senators would really push to tie it thanks to great players like Nick Paul and Tim Stützle, who were continually driving this game for chances. However, the Senators were just not able to beat James Reimer again more than once, as the San Jose Sharks take down Ottawa last night 2-1, improving their record to 3-0, as Ottawa drops to 2-2 on the season. Now here are my game notes. As I mentioned earlier in this video when going over the game score, Shane Pinto appears to have avoided a significant injury after he got injured in the first period of play last night and did not return to the game after a quick shift in the second. Luckily, according to the Senators, their coaching staff, the medical staff, whatever, according to the Senators organization, Shane Pinto looks to be okay as he looks to have avoided significant injury, which is fantastic news. We cannot afford to lose Shane Pinto. The center depth on this team is already very short. Clark Bishop's hurt. Colin White's hurt. We cannot afford to lose Shane Pinto. So it looked like he dislocated his shoulder or something even worse, which would have kept him out for a very long time potentially. It looks like the Sanders are going to avoid a long-term absence from Shane Pinto, which is excellent news. Now, what is not excellent is Thomas Chabot getting 3+ minute shifts on 2 occasions, at least on the third period last night. The Sanders need Erik Brannstrom in the lineup so the offense isn't just reliant on Chabot in the back end. They need to cut Thomas Chabot's minutes by quite a bit because, hey, listen, I love Thomas Chabot and I would love to play him out there for 40 minutes if we could. However, if you're playing him for about 25 to 30 minutes on average, again, you're going to burn him out. And we cannot afford to burn Thomas Chabot out. He has too much to give, especially offensively, to this team. And if we burn him out, we're going to risk hurting ourselves down the road and risk him injuring himself down the road too by being overworked and overtired. So a player like Erik Brannstrom, we traded a lot for him. We're going to get into him in a second. But a player like Erik Brannstrom is exactly what Ottawa needs to rejuvenate the back end offensively because Thomas Chabot is being overworked right now. And like I said, You cannot be putting him out there for 2 shifts in the third period for 3+ minutes. One was just over 3 minutes. The other 4+ minutes. It's ridiculous. Needs to be cut down. Now, Matt Murray's glove hand continues to be a problem. The offside goal that would have tied it at 1 was offside, of course, but that goal did go glove side. And so did the game-winning goal on the power play. So the glove hand side continues to be a problem for Matt Murray. But other than that, this is very encouraging for Sens fans. Matt Murray looked pretty composed, pretty solid last night, made some big stops, and that's all you want to see as a Sens fan. He didn't look shaky, looked pretty positionally sound for most of them, except, of course, the glove side goals. But besides that, yeah, Matt Murray looked like a solid goaltender out there, and that is really encouraging if you're an Ottawa Senator fan, because Matt Murray looks good, Anton Forsberg looks good, and Philip Gustafsson looks good. So the Senators have 3 goalies who are ready to go at any given moment, so that is fantastic news. What's not great is the fact that Erik Brannstrom is involved in trade rumors surrounding the Ottawa Senators. This would be a huge mistake for the Sens if they did wind up trading Erik Brannstrom, especially since they traded one of the best players in franchise history, Mark Stone, to get Erik Brannstrom. I guarantee you the player that they would trade Erik Brannstrom for would not be even close to as good as Mark Stone, so there's no reason for Ottawa to trade Erik Brannstrom, especially with the fact that Ottawa needs help on the blue line right now offensively, and you're trading an offensive-minded defenseman with immense skill that looked, on top of all that, with that skill, looked incredibly improved in the preseason. This makes absolutely no sense. I truly do hope the Senators do not go with the move of trading Erik Brannstrom. It just wouldn't make any sense. At least give him a shot, a true shot in the National Hockey League, and evaluate him before trading him. Give him a shot at least, instead of throwing him to the AHL. Now, the only way I would really consider trading Erik Brannstrom is if you're getting a player like a Jack Eichel or a Claude Giroux. You need an impactful player for Erik Brannstrom. So if you're going to trade him, make it count. Make it worth it. Don't just trade for a depth player, a top 9 center like Dylan Strome. No offense to Dylan Strome. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it doesn't make sense to trade Mark Stone for Erik Brannstrom and then to trade Erik Brannstrom for Dylan Strome. That's clearly a downgrade to begin with. So, yeah, if you're going to trade Erik Brannstrom, it better be for a top-tier player like a Claude Giroux, and otherwise, keep him and see what you got. So for this season, I'm going to bring back the fan question part of the game recaps. I love hearing your questions, and I love answering them. So this one comes from @TruthTarzan. They ask, what do you think about the Senators start? Are we playoff bound? Also take a look at the other teams in the division. Very simple. Toronto, they look strong. They look to be a playoff team. I don't know if they're going to be more than that. Contender, I don't think so, but I think they're definitely a playoff team. Boston, who knows? I think they're probably a playoff team. We'll see. Florida looks really good. Tampa Bay, of course, looks good. And Montreal does not look good, which is fun to see. Detroit and Buffalo, I don't think they'll keep it up. They've looked solid. And the Ottawa Senators, they're 2-2. They got 4 out of 6 points without Brady Tkachuk in the lineup. No points with him in the lineup in that one game last night, of course, against San Jose. But Ottawa looks pretty solid. You know, they definitely need to shore up their depth, especially in the forward core. The lack of depth is very evident at times. When you have Shane Pinto potentially out of the lineup for long term, you will see a big drop-off when it comes to the offense. But overall, Ottawa looks like a solid team. Like I said, they also need a puck mover on the blue line other than the Chabot. But yeah, Ottawa is really a couple pieces away from being a playoff contender. I don't think they make the playoffs this year. I think that's way too early to. I think that's way too much pressure on this team way too early. But what I think makes sense is be in the playoff hunt, be in contention, be in the conversation. As long as you're within 5 to 10 points of that wild card spot, I'm happy this year, to be quite honest with you. Just be competitive and make improvements. As long as you improve and you're back in the conversation and we're not a basement dweller, that's all you should ask for this year if an Ottawa Senator fan. And then next season, that's when we should expect playoffs. The Sens Talk star of the night, voted by you, the fans, is Tim Stützle in last night's 2-1 loss versus San Jose. Stützle, with over 60% of the vote in last night's Sens Talk star of the night poll, once again looked fantastic. As a 19-year-old, the fact he's generating all these chances is very encouraging. The goals will come. I've seen some people mention that they're getting a little antsy, a little impatient about the fact that he hasn't putting the puck in the back of the net. We're 4 games into the season. Give the kid a chance. He's 19. It's his sophomore year, and he looks great out there. The goals will come. The fact that he's driving to the net, creating these chances is fantastic, and some of these chances are turning into power play chances too, thanks to, there's an example, I think in the second period, he drove to the net on James Reimer, and then he got tripped up, and caused a power play for the Ottawa Senators. So Tim Stützle is not only creating offensive chances to potentially score, he's also drawing penalties as well. Besides that, the Sens lose 2-1. They play tomorrow against the New York Rangers on Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We will have a video, of course, post-game on Saturday. Besides that, thank you all for watching. Appreciate the support. Make sure to like this video, share it for cool stuff, and of course, click that big red button down there, make it great, and subscribe to us. And most importantly of all, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support. Go Sens, go.